What happens when the principle of an eye for an eye meets the command to turn the other cheek? Today, we peel back the layers of Matthew 5, verses 38 to 39. It begins with Jesus referencing an old law, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. This principle from the Old Testament, found in Exodus and Leviticus, is commonly known as the law of retaliation. It was designed to ensure that punishment was proportionate to the offense committed. However, Jesus in his wisdom does not simply endorse this principle, but challenges it. He introduces a new standard, a radical shift from retaliation to non-resistance, even in the face of mistreatment. He encourages his followers to respond with love and patience, emphasizing forgiveness, selflessness, and the transformative power of love. Jesus is not negating the importance of the Old Testament law. Instead, he lifts it to a higher spiritual plane, focusing on inner righteousness and the values of the kingdom of God. In verse 39, Jesus lays out this new standard, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. This verse has three key components. Firstly, but I say unto you, signals a departure from a purely legalistic interpretation of the Old Testament law. Jesus introduces a higher understanding of righteousness. Secondly, that ye resist not evil encourages non-retaliatory behavior. This doesn't imply passive acceptance of all wrongdoing, but rather a call to avoid responding to evil with further evil. Lastly, whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also, is a vivid illustration of non-resistance. Jesus advises responding to a demeaning action with an attitude of non-retaliation and willingness to endure further mistreatment. These teachings challenge conventional notions of justice and retaliation and advocate for a radical form of love and forgiveness. They align with the theme of inner righteousness and the values of the kingdom of God that Jesus presents in the Sermon on the Mount. In summary, Matthew 5, verses 38 to 39 present a radical shift from the principle of an eye for an eye to a call for non-resistance and forgiveness. Jesus challenges the conventional notion of justice based on retaliation and advocates for a non-resistive response to evil. Instead of seeking retribution, there is an emphasis on turning the other cheek and not resisting the one who does harm. This can be seen as a call to a form of restorative justice, where the emphasis is not solely on punishment but on addressing the harm done, promoting reconciliation, and fostering a transformed relationship between the wrongdoer and the one wronged. The focus is on healing and restoration. So we see that the teachings of Jesus in Matthew 5, verses 38 to 39, present a radical and transformative approach to justice, retaliation, and forgiveness. It's not just about what happens on the surface, but about the heart and the spiritual transformation that comes from choosing love and forgiveness over retaliation. Thank you for listening. Shalom. This is Dr. Maxwell Shimba.